All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another unrivaled video. This is sort of my, I guess, mid-season, almost mid-season video where I want to talk about some players, some standout teams, some great games or great performances, players that have been playing great, and give some love to my favorite teams and look back on some of my predictions. For this season that I had at the beginning of the season. This video is coming out. This is pre-recorded, but is coming out before the Philly games in Unrivaled. Unrivaled's first games out of Miami, Florida, where they have been at home, where they've made their home for the last was it season and a half now. So we'll see what happens there. I'm very excited for those games. Those games um, are on January 30th, Friday at 7:30 on TNT and 8:45 on TNT as well. It is the Breeze versus Phantom and the Rose, the reigning champs, versus the Lunar Owls. So yeah, um, just want to talk about Unrivaled a little bit. Um, it's funny because I was thinking about making this video anyway, and then I realized that Friday's coming up so quickly. I need to make it now because why not? We're gonna go to Philly. It's gonna be a great moment for the league. And I also found the sticky note I had. Um, if you watch my video, my preseason video for Unrivaled, I had a sticky note that I was writing the teams that I thought would be good um, down on the sticky note, and I found it again. I was like, you know what? Let me make it. I have this sticky note in front of me. I have some thoughts anyway about some performances, some players that have surprised me. Um, so yeah, let's talk about it. Um, let's talk about some. Let's talk about the people in front of you first. How about that? Let's do that first, and then we'll get into like the leaders and stat categories, players that have surprised me, teams that have surprised me. Um, Starting with the bottom left, the Breeze, the newly formed expansion team, one of the better teams in the league um, already. I had them written down as like a sneaky, like if they start the season off hot, they could be a really good team, and that's exactly what they did. Um, they're sitting at 4-3 right now on the season. They lost their last game, but for a very young team, have played very well. The team consisting of Rakia Jackson, Kate Martin, Dominique Malanga, Paige Beckers, Cameron Brink, Erin McDonald. Um, they also had somebody replace Erin McDonald because she was injured last game or last earlier this week. I forget her name. I'll look it up in a minute. But they've been really great as a group. I've been supremely impressed with Paige Beckers. I'm not. I want to say I'm a Paige Beckers hater. I'm a Paige Beckers denier. Like I'm like, you need to show me something. I get you were good in college. I get you on a bad WNBA team, but she's shown me a little something more in Unrivaled. And I get it's 3-on-3. It's a little bit different of a setup, but she's playing very well. And at times her defense is very great. At times her defense is a little, lackadaisical, a little, you know, we know what you're weak at. Let's just attack you, sort of deal. But the same thing with Kate Martin. Uh, Far less stakes for Kate Martin though. But nevertheless, Paige Becker's been playing great offensively. Um, has had some really extraordinary games. Uh, this sounds like something very obvious, but definitely the standout player for the Breeze. The Breeze run almost everything through her. She plays a lot of minutes, and she gets everybody involved, which I really love to see. Um, Cameron Brink, Rika Jackson, looking great, played great. Uh, which an interesting wrinkle that I didn't expect this season was that Cameron Brink um, is struggling with fouling, even though she's like familiar with the 3-on-3 like setup, and I don't know why she's struggling on defense. Just something I noticed, and a lot of other people noticed too. But like I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then another standout, I guess the second standout, um, middle of your screen, sort of middle, number 14, Dominique Malanga had her first dunk, the first dunk in Unrivaled, I think. Yeah, the first like real dunk in Unrivaled. Um, and she's been playing great defensively, offensively. Reading the floor still a little iffy, handle still a little iffy, but her game in the post looks way better than it did in the WNBA. everything looks like it's coming together slowly but surely. And when I made my video predicting this season, I was like, all I want to see from some of these players, Dominique, is like, hey, just show me you improved a little bit. Show me you're actually putting the work, that you're getting these reps in for a reason. You're not just in Miami to play basketball with your friends. Like, cool, that's fine. Like, but as a young player, I expect you to like improve your game. Use these moments. It's like basically summer runs. Except it's not in a gym. It's with other women basketball players in a competitive environment. Let's see what you can do. And Dominique has checked all those boxes, and she's looked really great. And I hope the Seattle Storm front office and the WNBA team she's a part of say you notice of these things, be like, okay, we know there's upside to players, but there's like realistic um expectations of a player and what they actually can do in a game, and Dominique has been raising the expectations but simultaneously raising the actual things that she can do in a game, which I love to see. um some other players I want to shout out, bottom right of your screen, number 7 in the black and green jersey, Aaliyah Boston. I'm the biggest Aaliyah Boston fan you'll meet. I absolutely love AB. AB's such a talented young player. She's had moments where she's fouled out of games this season and Unrivaled, but nevertheless, offensively, mwah, perfect, looking great, picking up right off where she left in the finals run that the Indiana Fever have. Um, she's been looking great, expanding her range a little bit. I've seen the three go in a couple times. That's what I like to see. And just forceful, prideful in her work. And she's everything I expected this season. I don't need to say anything else about her. I expected this coming off of the WNBA season that she had into this unrivaled season. Um, and a team I want to shout out as well, a team that I've been rooting for, that a lot of people were low on. And I remember who you are. I remember saying, I think the Phantom are going to be good on here and on some other platforms. And people are like, no, they're going to be bad. I don't know what you're talking about. They're good. I want an apology. These Phantom girls are good. They're good. Middle right of your screen, um, Kelsey Plum, my original WNBA fandom started with her. Had to root for her. She's been playing great. Was on triple double watch. Like I think it was like the second week of the season, where she had a crazy game. She's looked great. Aaliyah Boston, like I said, love Aaliyah Boston. Kiki Ariafin, also middle of your screen up there on the top. Been a switch go to big at times. Has had some interestingly bad moments, but like really clutch moments as well, which I love to see from her, playing some real competitive basketball since her WNBA team isn't that good. She gets to play some real competitive basketball here on Unrivaled, and she has shined. Tiffany Hayes, I've grown to like Tiffany Hayes. I'm not the biggest fan of her. I've said this in another video, in like an NBA video or something, where like there are players sometimes where like I just don't know what you do. Like I just don't know what you do. Like either you just do everything, like you do all the little things, or you do nothing out there on the court. And I feel like Tiffany Hayes falls into that group. Um, Natasha Cloud hasn't had the best unrivaled season, but I understand why she's on this team. It's the Kelsey Plum offset where she's the taller guard. She can do some of similar things that Kelsey Plum can do, but in a smaller capacity and like a quicker twitch, catch and shoot, drive the lane, that sort of stuff. And she's looked okay. And then in street clothes, next to Kelsey Plum, number 10, Dana Evans, a Las Vegas ace, a champion. Been injured the last couple games, but from what I saw, she's played okay. I'm always going to root for her as an ace or even as a former ace, maybe in the future. But yeah, so yeah, really, really good group there. The Aces and the Breeze. And I want to take a quick pit stop here before we get into some of these other players on your screen. I want to talk about this other team I had up here that I thought was going to be good on the sticky note, the Mist. Um, I put that one on there simply because of the roster. Um, I didn't particularly believe in this team, but like I saw and I was like, you know what? I like Alicia Gray. I like Elena Smith. I really like Lee Yaroo. Um, Brianna Stewart might be a little past her time, but she can still give you something. Um, Enrique, I'm not the biggest fan of, kind of a shot chucker, but you need a shot chucker in these situations, the 3-on-3 situation. Keep you in games, keep leads, that sort of stuff. And they played really well. All these players have been playing well. Shout out Alicia Gray especially, closer, game changer, really good stuff. Elena Smith hasn't played the best, has been in a bit of foul trouble getting sort of back into the groove of things with 3-on-3, but I think she'll find her stride. And Lee Yu has had played some critical quarters. I don't think she's played like full games where I've been really impressed, but there are quarters where I'm really impressed. And Brianna Stewart has had some clutch game winners and has some clutch moments overall for this team, and that's why they sit at 5-2 on the season. Only was this a game back, only a single game back, which is great. I don't think they don't play. Well, they will play this weekend. They don't play in Philly though, so we're gonna have to wait till later in the weekend to see if they can improve upon that record. So yeah, those are the three teams I've been really impressed with, or I thought were going to be good and that are good right now. Pat myself on the back right there. Um, let's get into some stats because a lot of these players that are left are on these stats, and then there's like some that aren't. But anyway, points leaders for Unrivaled. Um, Points per game leaders in Unrivaled through 3 weeks. They've played 3 weeks of basketball for a grand total of, what would this be, 7 games is the maximum amount they could have played. So leaders, Chelsea Gray returning from last year, unrivaled champion, WNBA champion. I didn't think she'd be this good again. She started off the first 2 weeks really hot. The third week wasn't a particularly great week for her, but the first 2 weeks were absolutely incredible. Looked like she turned back the clock once again, averaging 29 points. Um, Las Vegas Ace, starting point guard. Yeah. Next player, Marina Maybury. Um, what number is that? Number right there, middle of your screen, under the basketball, right there. Um, in the black jersey, the Owls jersey. 25 points per game. I was really disappointed about what this Owls team was supposed to be and what it is now. But it has been such a great moment for Marina Maybury and Aaliyah Edwards, number 8 in the Owls jersey as well. Teammates both playing spectacularly well, dealing with a ton of injuries to start this unrivaled season. They have taken the opportunity. They have flown off the handlebars in the greatest way possible. Really good stuff. 25 points for averaging per game for Marina Maybury and 21 for Aaliyah Edwards. And then we get into going back in order here now. Alicia Gray for the Mist, 24 points. She had a great WNBA season, continuing it here in Unrivaled. Looking a bit more comfortable actually in Unrivaled than she did this past season in the WNBA. I don't know if it's the pace, I don't know if it's the space, I don't know if it's just like, hey, there's only 2 other players out here. I gotta get my bucket, so let's we get my bucket. Really good stuff. And then, like I talked about, Paige Beckers in the beginning of the video, 23 points, putting up a spectacular I guess rookie year for Unrivaled, first year in Unrivaled, really good stuff for Paige Beckers. And then with leaders in steals, you have Mist Veronica Burton 2.1. You have Lexi Hole grabbing up 1.8 for the Rose. You have Brittany Sykes 1.7 for the Laces. Chelsea Gray 1.6 for the Rose, and Ryan Howard 1.6 for Vinyl. So yeah, defensively, I have to be quite honest here. I thought there'd be some different and more interesting defenders than just like pass lane stealers. Like I feel like Lexi Hole is a pass lane stealer. Chelsea Gray is a pass lane stealer. Ryan Howard maybe is more than a pass lane stealer, but like I feel like Sykes and Byrne are the only ones who get down there and get in there. Don't get me wrong, Lexi Hole dives on balls, but like I don't know. Some of these are like some of these stats, and I'm like, I could see it where like it's just passing lane steals. It's nothing crazy. Um, Moving on here, blocks leaders. Now, this is a fun one because there's a heavy mix in here. It's not like any regular basketball league. There's some interesting centers and guards here. Aaliyah Boston leading the pack with 1.9 for the Phantom. Sanaya Rivers, who I thought would be really good defensively, off her rookie year in the WNBA, coming in on rival, first year on rival, playing for what it's probably a really bad Hive team. I knew she'd be really good defensively. I really hoped she would get an opportunity offensively as well. And she has gotten those opportunities. She's made the most of them. Most of it sometimes. not all the times, but defensively, that's where Sanaa Rivers hangs her hat, and she's second in the rankings at 1.7. Cam Brink with as a guard, so that's like forward. Sanaa Rivers, by the way, she's not some tall, like extra tall big, like Aaliyah or Cameron Brink, who's next year at 6.1 for the Breeze, or Dominique Malonga, who's like almost like six, like almost 7 foot, um, at 1.3 for the Breeze as well. And then for the Lunar Owl, Skylar Diggins, another guard at 1.3, who just started playing like what, like maybe like a week ago. She was injured for the start of the season. She came in. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna start blocking shots now as a guard. Really good stuff for everybody. Shout out my girl, Aaliyah Boston again. Great stuff. Love to see it. Rebound leaders. Now, these are some crazy numbers, and if you've watched any of the Lunar Owls games, you notice this player jumps off the page immediately, jumps off the screen immediately. Aaliyah Edwards averaging 13 rebounds. I repeat, 13. Keeping her team in a lot of games, just getting the boards. Boards are so critical in 3-on-3 for second chance points, for drawing fouls, all that stuff. Very critical. Really happy to see Aaliyah Boston. I wanted my aces to trade for her in the WNBA season. That didn't happen. So I've been keeping tabs on her for like a little while now, and I'm happy to see her rebounding and playing basketball at a high level. Dominique Malonga for the Breeze, 10.9 rebounds. Aaliyah Boston, 9.7 for the Phantom. Brianna Stewart, 9.1 for the Mist. That's a surprise one. I didn't think she was averaging 9.1 rebounds. That's really nice. And Monique Billings for the Hive, 9 rebounds per game. And that it? Yeah, that's it. That's all the major stat categories. Yeah, that's it. Um, talk about one other player that I was really high on preseason and really hasn't had the greatest time in Unrivaled. Had some okay, like very brief moments. Top right of your screen, Sonia Citron. Man, oh man. I've watched. Let me be very clear. I should have said this at the beginning of the video. I've watched almost literally every Unrivaled game thus far. Like that's how I spend my weekends. Um, Maybe not this weekend because it's gonna be NBA basketball, but I'll try to tune in to Unrivaled still. But I've thoroughly enjoyed Unrivaled. I feel like I did a great job this year predicting the good teams, predicting the players that are gonna be good. One player I did miss on, however, and I think it's really just because their team is really bad, and we all knew this team was going to be bad. It's the Hive. The Hive have been terrible, and Sonia Citron has not looked great, and she hasn't looked the most comfortable as sort of the number one option on this team sometimes. And it's a shame because her teammate in um, Kiki Area Finn, right below her actually, in the graphic, has been playing some really good basketball, and um, this is a learning moment for Sonia, and yeah, that was one I swung and I missed on. I swung and missed on that one so bad. Sorry about that, Sonia. But to wrap it up here, I do want to talk about the standings um, right now, going from 1 to 8. The Laces with an L, 6-1 on the season. The Mist, 5-2. The Rose, the reigning champions, 4-3, 4 wins, 3 losses. Breeze, 4-3. Phantom, 4-3, so a three-way tie essentially for fourth. And then you get to the sort of the meh. Vinyl, 2-5. I feel like Vinyl plays some really good basketball, and they just can't close games. 2-5, 2-5. Hive, 2-5, and then the Lunar Owls, the most devastated team by injuries by far. 1-6. I saw their one win, and it was probably the most uh, gut wrenching win they probably could have gotten because they just had to do everything to get one win, and they still have to play the rest of the season. And um, they're heading to Philly to play the Rose on tonight, Friday night. Um, yeah, that might be a spanking. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. That's the video. I want to talk about Unrivaled a little bit. Get my 2 cents in there. I feel like a lot of my Unrivaled videos have been centered around like how is it a bargaining chip for the CBA and the WNBA? How does it compare to Project B that's also coming along next season? And it's sort of been negative, but I truly do like Unrivaled. I watched almost every dribble last year when they played the inaugural season. I've watched almost no, literally every dribble this season. and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, but like with every league, there's some teams that you have it on the background. You don't really pay too much mind. But other teams, super fun, super energetic, just a ball to watch. Um, and my predictions are looking pretty good for the last time. My predictions were Breeze, Mist, and Phantom as some of the best teams in the league, and I'm pretty much on the nose right there. So that's it. That's the video. Thank you for liking. Thank you for listening. Uh, like, comment, subscribe. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.